I have a confession to make. Until this past week, I had never played Animal Crossing Wild World. All of my friends kept telling me how mind-numbingly amazing it was, but for the longest time, I just put it off to the side to hopefully play someday, after day, after day. That is, until today, or a couple days ago, I guess, I did the deed. The reason I'm giving you all this background information is that you should know that I skipped Wild World and City Folk for that matter, and went directly to New Leaf. I'm sure you all know where this review is headed, so without further ado, let's take a look back at Animal Crossing Wild World for the Nintendo DS. Right off the bat, you're probably expecting me to say something negative about the game, and well, you're wrong. That happens later, silly. Our story begins in the back of a bus on a rainy night with a lovable, pirate-speaking Cap'n. He seems like a pretty trustworthy guy, so you tell him your name, the town you're headed to, your credit card information, and your gender. After this relatively short introduction is done, you set out to your new house, and like always, you get indebted to Tom Nook. And the rest of the quote-unquote plot is decided by you. How you want to pay off that loan, what you want to do, or how you want to do it, to some extent, is entirely up to you. Much like its GCN predecessor, the developers gave you a bunch of blocks, some made into structures and others scattered around, and lets you, the player, decide on what to do with them. Before we delve into the gameplay though, why don't we discuss the presentation? On the more positive side of things, the lovely Animal Crossing art style is still present and marvelous. Plus, the character designs, the inventory interface, and some textures look decent. However, the transition from the GCN to DS doesn't exactly bode well from a visual standpoint. Being on the bottom screen of the DS, which is a questionable design choice to begin with, a lot of the textures look muddy and the frame rate is atrocious. See, the text boxes and environments seem to have different frame rates and they do not mix together well at all. Overall, the frame rate is all over the place. It's rarely at a consistent 30 frames per second. Not to mention, there's quite a bit of pop in due to the overworld's new spherical design and panning camera. While the new camera system is a nice fit for Animal Crossing, the low draw distance sort of breaks the atmosphere for me. Despite these visual flaws, the sound design is stellar. The sound effects for the different villagers are adorable as always, and most of the environmental sound effects are as charming as they were in the previous installment. In terms of the soundtrack, it's not my favorite in the series, but I won't deny that it's fantastic. It's bubbly, cheery, and upbeat, which suits the game perfectly. With its heavy emphasis on synth and percussion, the OST is absolutely wonderful for relaxing or doing most anything. And finally, that leads us into the gameplay, and it's pretty much identical to the GCN version. I mean, from both a visual and gameplay standpoint, not much has been altered. If anything, the gameplay has been ever so slightly tweaked and refined. Your main objective is still to repay your house loan and have fun. To do both of those things, you can, once again, fish in a sort of quick-time minigame, catch bugs that you find out in this wild world, dig up fossils to deliver to the now informed and educated Blathers, garden by planting trees and flowers, or gather various objects you find lying on the ground. And of course, to do these things, you'll need tools, which Tom Nook sells at his very own shop. But of course, to get these things, you'll need bells, which you can get by selling fish, bugs, fruit, or other objects to Tom Nook. Now, that might sound like a lot to take in, but the act of doing all this is a lot simpler than it sounds. The game is intuitive, streamlined, and simple to control. Well, it's simple to control, but that doesn't mean it controls well. Going from an analog stick to a D-pad for controlling a character in a three-dimensional space is not the best feeling in the world. It feels rather wonky and stiff. But really, that's my only complaint with Wild World's gameplay. Sure, talking with villagers and running their errands can be tedious at times, but I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy it. You get to learn a fair bit about these sentient beings, and their dialogue is really well written. It possesses a certain charm and lighthearted personality that only a game like Animal Crossing could pull off this well. Oh, and in this particular installment, you can play locally with your friends if they also have the game. While I couldn't experience this feature for myself, since I have no friends, I've heard that the multiplayer is alright, great, if a bit limited. There's a lot more I could discuss here, but I think telling you every little event or detail that happens would hamper your experience tremendously. All the holidays, cool events, new shops, seasons, and everything in between are best experienced during actual play. So all in all, Animal Crossing Wild World is a decent game. It's not amazing though, and I would certainly never replay it due to its mediocre frame rate and graphical presentation. Once again, there are definitely better sequels that fix all these issues and build off of Wild World's strengths, like the new level design. You should only play this title if you want to have a nostalgia fest, or you're just curious about it. Other than that, there's really no standout feature that separates it from later installments. But as always, if you disagree or agree with me, let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching and take care. Have a wicked and wild day, and goodbye.